In today's video, I want to share why I decided to purchase this camera. It's the Z Mount Red Komodo-X. Now, this video is not meant to be like a humble brag type of thing announcing that I purchased an expensive Red camera. Really, I've found it super helpful to hear people process larger gear decisions, and this is certainly like a big investment in a camera. And so I felt like it might be helpful if I shared my rationale, because you might be in a similar position considering this camera or a camera like this. So let's get into it. There's three main reasons why I decided to purchase this camera. And the biggest one is that I didn't feel like the FX6 was a big enough upgrade for me and the type of work that I was doing with the types of clients that I was getting. Now, the FX6 is a fantastic camera, but for me to purchase it at the time that I was looking to make the jump into the cinema camera world up from the mirrorless camera world, I just didn't feel like it was enough of an upgrade. I own the A7S III and was working with the FX3 all the time. It's a fantastic camera. Both of those cameras have the exact same sensor, and they also share the same sensor as the FX6. And so effectively, the FX6 has the same exact dynamic range, the same exact frame rates, and while it has a different body that makes for some conveniences over those two cameras, like built-in ND filters, I just didn't feel like it was enough of an upgrade for me to make my money back quick enough to clients. Essentially, I didn't feel like I could go to the clients that I was working with who were wanting a slightly, better of an upgrade over what I could offer them and say, hey, I can offer you this thing that I'm going to charge you more for, but what you're going to get in the end is the same resolution, the same color science, and the same exact dynamic range. Yeah, I might have an easier time working with it because of the built-in ND filter, but I'm also going to struggle with it because the audio top handle is proprietary and I have to use it for having onboard sound. And so that camera just lacked a little bit of modularity, and I didn't feel like I could make my money back quick enough with renting it out to productions. And so 2 years ago, when I was looking to make this upgrade with basically a more production-friendly cinema camera, I ended up buying the OG Red Komodo. The clients that I was working with were happy to basically pay a larger kit fee for the Red name brand, 6K resolution, and the Red Code RAW. It was an easy sell for a lot of the clients that I was working with, and I was able to make my money back on that camera relatively quickly and have that camera turn a profit for me because I was able to charge a larger kit fee after the camera was paid off, and clients were happy, I was happy, everyone was happy in the long run. But the major downside to that investment that I made 2 years ago was that the OG Red Komodo was an RF mount camera. Despite being what I thought was a slightly better camera for me at the time than an FX6, I already owned a bunch of Sony cameras and Sony E-mount glass, but I couldn't use it on those productions. Now, when Red was acquired by Nikon, I knew that someday a Z mount camera, like this guy, was going to come at some point in the future, and my hope was that Sony E-mount lenses would be adaptable to them. And now here we are, and this is true, and it's the case. And this leads me to the second reason why I decided to purchase this camera, and it's the fact that the Z mount on the Komodo-X and the new Red cameras allow for Sony E-mount lenses with an adapter by Megadapt, which I'll leave the link to it in the description below. It's $250, and you can use Sony E-mount lenses almost as good as you can native Z mount. The autofocus works fairly well, manual focus works, iris control works, image stabilization works. As long as your lens has a switch for autofocus and manual focus, I've found that they work well and they talk to each other. The camera body will even tell you that it has a Sony E-mount lens on it. It even reads the serial number. The fact that this camera can use Sony lenses just about as well as the native Z mount means that this camera is really versatile, and it also, for me, meant that it was more of the upgrade that I was looking for over the FX6. It's got a lot better modularity than I think the FX6 does, not being required to use an audio top handle. I can have audio mounted in different spots. The I/O is really nice, and just the form factor and flexibility of this thing, I think, has made it something that I can fit into a lot of different types of productions. It can do the dock work that I really like doing, and it can also do some more of the commercial and branded content that I've done in the past and would like to continue doing more of in the future. So the third and final reason why I decided to purchase this camera might be the most obvious one, and it's that it's an upgrade over the OG Red Komodo that I had previously owned. Now, I don't want to take anything away from that camera. It was my favorite camera by far prior to owning this one, but this camera has a little bit cleaner of a sensor, resulting in better dynamic range. There's double the frame rates. It's got better audio solutions, better I/O on the back, an integrated V mount system, and like we've already talked about, it can use Sony glass on it. And so for those reasons, I think that this camera made a lot of sense for me to be able to purchase with my business and the types of projects that I'm going to shoot with it and am shooting with it, because I was able to sell the OG Komodo. I was able to sell the redundant lenses that I had, the manual focus EF lenses, the RF mount lenses, and that was able to fund a large portion of this camera. And so really the cost to upgrade from the OG Komodo to this camera was fairly minimal in the grand scheme of things. And it also opened up the ability to use the really good Sony E-mount lenses that I really like on this camera. And so for me, it was something that made a ton of sense. And I think that if you are a Sony shooter and you're not quite sure if an FX6 is the right jump for you, the right step up, well, this thing is in a similar price point, and it could be the option that you're looking for. Now, I've got a dedicated review coming out in the near future that I think is going to dive into that a little bit more. But I think if you're willing to trade off some of the conveniences with the built-in ND filter and take a little bit of a hit with autofocus performance, what you're going to gain is better resolution, I think better dynamic range, better color science, better codec, and a much more modular camera. So for me, so far, I couldn't be happier with my decision. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on the Z Mount Red Komodo-X. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one.